That's it, boys. The reset came and went, a little bit extended, but it's here now, and everything is now available in the War Within. We're talking Mythic Plus, raiding, your basically your new story mode of the raid, and it's all here now. So let's talk a little bit about these things, some of the changes that have happened, and how things are currently going. Hey guys, I got to interrupt this news segment to bring you an important message from today's sponsor. Do you have phones? Well, if you do, Awesome can help you out. You see, they have a remote client that allows you to log into your computer and play it from your phone. What that means is you can essentially play WoW, run your dailies, and do all kinds of stuff in the game using this app. It's really easy to use. Just click my link below to download the PC and the phone app and connect them, and you're in. The free version is great as it allows you to control your desktop, but the real deal is the game version. With this version, you get custom keyboards for games like WoW, great FPS, and sound. Use my code Samiccus to get 7 days completely free, only for the first 200 people. With the ability to remote in through your computer and an expansion just around the corner, you could even log in to bypass those long queue times. You could even use a special plug to remotely turn your PC on and off, and there's often hot sales with up to 40% off the Pro and game versions. Check out Awesome today. World first Mythic Race is currently on full force. Some of these cheaters out there doing it too. Yeah. So Liquid is currently in the lead, doing Rashanan. So Mythic Rashanan was the last kill. They are currently in the lead. I didn't recheck this again, but I believe they are still the leaders right now in the Mythic Race to World First. It always gets more interesting once they get to the final boss. So when they get to Queen Ansarek, we'll have to see how everyone stacks up, because that honestly is where the race really starts to get interesting. But yep, here we are, 4th boss down, and the players and teams continue to push. Story mode opened up with the reset as well, and it's interesting. So basically story mode is, the easiest way to do the raid right now. It's essentially what it's titled. It's a story mode of the raid, basically giving people a way to complete the raid without having to actually do any real mechanics or anything. Now this thing is something that you can do with solo mode or up to 10 players. And you might want to actually do it, because there is some loot to be had right now. No loot that drops off Queen Ansarek. This is a non-lootable version of the raid. Kind of weird, I know. But right now, there is a quest that you can pick up that will give you something that you can use for crafting, which is kind of important right now, as you're looking for ways to kind of boost your item level in every way possible. So you're going to want to do the story mode if you decide, you need some of this crafting stuff, but you're going to want to do it by getting a quest first. So there are some prerequisites to unlocking this thing. It's just a simple, toggling of the difficulty. The prerequisite is finish the first chapter, the max level War Within story campaign. You'll need to do this on each character that you want to do, basically the story mode version of the raid on. So this is not like a warband thing. You're going to have to do this quest line in every character that you want to unlock it on. Once you start story mode, the story mode quest line, you pick up Our Chance to Strike quest from Webster. So this is in Dornagal. You'll pick this up. This is how you get it started. And completing the short storyline in Ashkahet, ending with To Kill a Queen. This is the one that'll send you into the raid to kill her. Now, where you'll be able to go in story mode and, yes, do your whole thing and kill her. Once you kill her, there's a bunch of rewards to be had by turning this quest in. One of the rewards is the Enchanted Ruined Harbinger quest. Again, this is something that you can use to craft items 606 to 619 quality, which is pretty damn good right now. So using that will be nice for some people who actually want to craft out gear and fill out some of their slots. Already picked up the Kill to Queen. Nice. Yeah, so you're ahead of the curve. Not yet, maybe. 265 Valor Stones will also be given, 2,500 rep, and 1,400 gold. So it is a pretty lucrative quest to go out and do. Maybe explore what story mode actually looks like. And again, soloable or done with 10 other people. So you can literally do this whenever and however you want. So that's a nice little perk there. Moving on to the actual raid difficulties. Here we go. LFR is now available, second wing, so people can get in there and get that done. The second wing unlocks giving people bosses 4 to 6, which will give you item levels, what is this, 600? 587 in LFR. Yeah, so regular, here, difficulty LFR. The regulars will be giving you 587 for the bosses 3 to 4. And the very rare items are eye level 600. So, as much as we like to kind of poo-poo on the LFR players, it's okay. LFR is part of the game. Let them do their thing. And maybe you should be doing it too, because some of this stuff can still be useful to replace some of those last pieces of green gear that you've been having from the quest still that you haven't really replaced yet. Moving on to some more difficult content. Mythic Plus is now open. and people are running this shit like crazy and actually enjoying it from what I've seen for the most part. This week we have Xal'atath's Bargain, the affix. So here it is, the affix basics. Each week, a new Xal'atath's Bargain affix will appear on the Mythic Plus Keystone, starting at level 2. Tyrannical and Fortified will be alternating between levels 4 to 10, and you get the Challenger's Peril affix will always be presented at level 7 and up. So Xal'atath's Bargain Ascended. This week's affix is the Ascendant version of Xal'atath's Bargain. So about every minute in combat, Xal'atath will summon 10 orbs of the Ascended that cast Cosmic Ascensions for 6.5 seconds. If the orbs are successful, all enemies in combat will get a stack of 20% movement speed and haste. However, you can steal that haste buff by interrupting and CCing the orbs, gaining a stack of a 2% haste and movement speed buff. So this is that Kiss Curse mechanic that a lot of these Xal'atath Bargain stuff is going to be all about, which I personally really appreciate and like. I've been asking for these for quite a while. At level 4, Tyrannical will kick in, and then once you hit level 10, Fortified also kicks in. Now, level 10 Mythic Plus was what we typically wanted, right? That was what everyone was always going for because you wanted to get that Keystone Master and everything. But it looks like things are a bit easier now. That's right, Keystone Master is much easier to get in the War Within than it has been in the past. And why is that? Well, Tyrannical now and Fortified are not separate ratings. You know, it used to be where you kind of had to do both and kind of stack them up and make sure you got them all across the board. It's not that way anymore because now Tyrannical and Fortified show up on the same keys. So they're not really a separate thing anymore. So now what you're going to want to get is timed 7s or depleted 8s in every dungeon on average. So that's what you're going to... So if you get a 10 somewhere, you can get a 6 somewhere else. You're just going to want to average out a 7 timed or a depleted 8 to be able to get Keystone Master now in Season 1. Whereas before it used to be a 10. Now a Keystone Hero actually will be the 10 on average. So if you do that, you can get yourself that 2500 rating. You'll get the Keystone Master title, or I should say Hero title. Now, Master is what everyone goes for because of why? Well, it's because the Diamond Mecha Suit, the typical mount that you're going to get from the seasons. And yes, this season's is quite good. The Diamond Mecha Suit is absolutely glorious. I can't wait to have it. I will have it, that's for sure. And maybe we'll be seeing continued versions of this in different colorways, different stone ones. Maybe we'll get a ruby one or a emerald one at some point, but that's typically what they've been doing in these Mythic Plus seasons, is giving us different colorways of the same mount as it progresses. But right now, the diamond one, absolutely glorious. Can't wait to have it. You just need a 2,000 plus mythic score to get this. It's pretty simple, and like I said, a +7. I mean, I don't think that's that hard. Sam will have that at the end of the season on the last day. Hey, still counts. Still counts. That's right. And then you can also get the Mark of the Spelunker Supreme if you do push it to those +10s. When you get a Keystone Master, you also get, yes, the War with Season 1 Spelunker Supreme. So you only get this once. So if you already got it for defeating Queen Ansorek on Heroic or Mythic, then you won't get it right now. But you can get it for getting a 2,000 plus rating. Now what is it? You get a free piece of Heroic tier gear. That's right. You can also get it by getting a 600 plus, a 1,600 rating in Mythic Plus, so that's another way to get it. Again, it has to be one of the 3, but you can't do all 3 and get it 3 times. Just one of the 3. Once you get it, that's it. You've got your free piece of Heroic tier gear, and you won't be able to get it again. For Keystone Hero, now if you do want to push those +10s and get that 2,500 score, you will get the Luminous Nerubian Catalyst Stone. This will give you new cosmetics for your gear. I've seen it in previous seasons, extra glow effects or extra flowy effects. You know, it gives a little bit of extra sparkle to your tier gear, which is pretty cool. And getting a 2,500 rating now just requires a +10, so that might not be too hard. Yeah. Moving on to all the mounts that will be available in this season. You know, we got different dungeons in the rotation, which means, hey, some of these mounts are returning. Now, I have this one. We'll talk a little bit about it, but there is one that a lot of people are going to want to get, and that is the Stone Vault Mecha Suit. Look at this thing. Absolutely glorious. We got the furnace on the back, the jetpack. This is a really cool looking mount, and it's actually might not be too hard to get. First things first, you got to have some RNG though. So the way you're going to get this is it will have a chance to drop off a Void Speaker Erich in the Stone Vault. So you're going to want to run Stone Vault. You get this thing that starts a quest called A Mech in Need. And once you get the quest, you're going to have to get a couple trinkets, right? 3 different trinkets from 3 different dungeons. You're going to want to get the overclocked gear Arang launcher from Stone Vault, the synergistic brutalizer from Cinderu Meadery, and then the Burin of the Candle King from Dark Flame Cleft. Once you've gotten all 3, you can combine them and in the quest, and you will get the Stone Vault Mecha Suit mount. Yeah, absolutely glorious, nice looking mount. This will be one that I'll definitely, hopefully, get this season. The other one, with the return of the Necrotic Wake, is the Marrowfang Reigns. I have this one, actually got it during Shadowlands when I was playing all the time during COVID, and you can get it too. This is actually a pretty cool mount, the way it flies with the 2-headed animations and everything. It's a nice one. It also has some really cool glide animations as well, if you've ever ridden it. This one just randomly drops, so it's a Nelthar the Rime Binder, I should say, is the boss on Mythic difficulty that'll drop this mount. Good luck to those who are going for it. It's I think its drop chance is mediocre. Not super rare, but also not easy that easy to get. Hot fixes also came in yesterday. So with the hot fixes, you know, these all these different things went through, and some people are noticing balances, restructures. Some maybe didn't notice anything. We went through a bunch of these numbers the other day, so I'll link this down below. Obviously, people can see the numbers and see how their classes were specifically affected. But what I really wanted to review in the patch notes, obviously, are the delves. Those things get changed every day. So more delve rebalancing here. A bunch of abilities kind of got nerfed for enemies in delves, so here are some of them. Numerous bolt type spells will no longer immediately recast upon being interrupted, and their range has been reduced. In Cobalt delves, increased cooldown of Scratch. In the Fungarian delves, reduce the damage of invasive Spore Caps, Fungal Breath, and Fungal Bloom. And the Bog Piper's Spore Song now has an initial cast before the channel so that casters can prepare for its silence effect. So that's good. A bunch of these fungal things have gotten nerfed, cast times and all that. So that'll make things a lot easier to interrupt and avoid in general. In the Kobe's delves, Undersea Abomination fungal infections can no longer be interrupted. Deepwater Makura's Bubble Surge cast time has been increased. Kobe's Necromancer Defiling Breath area of effect has now been more closely matches the visual, which I did notice. Sometimes you could be standing on the edge of that visual and still get hit by it, so that's good that they kind of reduced the circle to actually fit the visual. In Nerubian delves, Web Bolt's snaring effects have been removed from non-boss enemies, and Stinging Swarm damage has been reduced. For Zekvir, the health and damage of the special invasion creatures in Tier 9, which is the first tier that they'll start to show up with, and above, have been reduced to more closely match difficulties of Lieutenants. So that's good. Basically a bunch more nerfs. We'll go over a summary later on of delves in one of the videos I'm going to watch here, but it's been a ton of stuff. From rebalancing to changing how scaling works to all this. I mean, Blizzard's trying. All right, they're trying to get it right, and all I have to say is I still enjoy delves. We did one yesterday. Like I said, I was 25 eye levels below the 600 recommended for Tier 8 delve. Before these nerfs kicked in, completed that shit with 1 death. The 1 death was because I sat in fucking like 6 spores at once and took that shit to the face, okay? Got one-shotted by it. Had I been actual 600 eye level, I probably would have survived it. But yeah, not bad. For me, delves are fun. They've been a good way to get gear besides doing your typical Mythic Plus and rating. I think it's a good piece of content in the game, and eventually they're going to get it right. They're not ignoring the player base. They are trying to rebalance them. And in terms of dungeons and raids, we saw a couple nerfs for different things in the Arikara City, so that should be a little bit easier. For Dawnbreaker, there is now the Repair Anvil amidst the Tyrannus Scythe. We saw there was an issue with the dodgeball was inflicting damage on unintended targets, and the Siege of Borealis had an issue where people were getting ported to opposite cities. That's been fixed, so now you'll actually go to the correct faction city after the raid. And then Nerubar Palace, becoming a slime from drinking the unstable mixture, can now be dispelled. Nerubian Basilis and Swaying Span now properly fire their load. Okay, fire their load. Nice. Loaded projectiles. Okay, so those are the changes there that came in the hotfixes yesterday for the patch. Moving on to Burning Crusade Timewalking. That's also a thing this week. You might want to do it because it's going to give you some decent gear. So Burning Crusade Timewalking kicked off. That means there are 5 Timewalking dungeons, and the Black Temple raid is now in Timewalking. You can get a nice cache of Nerubian treasures from doing either one, 5 Timewalking dungeons, or completing the Black Temple raid. But the thing you're going to want to do for sure is pick up the quest for the Black Temple Timewalking raid, Disturbance Detected Black Temple. This thing will reward you with 610 eye-level gear. That's right, you'll get a piece of 610 eye-level gear from the cache that you get from this one, or maybe Ashes of Alar and some other mounts. That's where I got it from not too long ago. But yeah, getting a 610 apiece of heroic item level gear, why not get in there and do the Timewalking dungeon? This is pretty easy to just blast down if you put together a raid. We'll probably do this at the end of the week on stream. But another valuable place to get some heroic gear in this first week of the official Season 1 kickoff. And then last but not least, you got some money burning a hole in your pocket. Yep, 50% off Skyriding mounts from the Battle.net shop. Go ahead and contribute to the degeneracy that is the Battle.net shop by buying all the mounts you've wanted to buy, 50% off. So there you go. Have some fun with that.